Well, it's another weekend. That's a very brilliant weekend. It's Saturday. Super action. It's a packed weekend Saturday. And we have a lot on your menu today. Motorsport is a show. I'm Frank Sergo to present the show. And it's always brought to you by none other than WBS TV, with its complete crew of men behind the cameras and the prompters. And actually, I'm going to walk you through a number of items in today's. And of course, we have a lot of it, what happened over the weekend, and then what's due course running on the weekend. Actually having a number of, actually this time around from the normal soft talk of this show, we are having a little bit of the technical advancement of this show, and actually we're going to have the technical persons who have always been at the helm of checking what kind of car you're going to be running on the stage and what is a prerequisite of you as a crew racing on the racetrack, both for motocross and then motor rally. We are having a lot happening, and we're back in the MotoGP. Of course, guys had a practice late yesterday, and of course the anticipation of the weather changes, they had many force actually have miscalculations and mischiefs on the racetrack. And none other than, of course, we had the championship leader, the MotoGP championship leader, that's Valentino Rossi, facing a hard moment in the overnight after practice, having a number of problems. Actually, he's one of the guys who had a bad spell at the race track, trying their way onto the podium start, as in by tomorrow. Unfortunately, he ended the day yesterday as 11th fastest on the Katuna round. And we hope the way to go in Spain. Guys are so much excited. Let's have a bit of the ambience and get to see the super action happening over in MotoGP. The practice, and you saw how some miscalculations at some turn led one of the bikers off the road. And in the special software, actually, with the weather changes, as in today, our anticipations were like the weather will change to a wetty bit of the season, and seeing many crews, actually many teams of the riders were opting to have soft running tires. And of course, Sinan, we had Yamaha, Honda trying their best. And of course, Suzuki and Ducati were all in the podium lead. Let's have about, let's get to see Rossi, how he managed to take the lead of the day into that turn with the knee captivation onto the ground. And then he took up the lead. Let's get a bit of ambience of Rossi doing it smart, unlike the other person who did it wrongly and then went off the bike. Let's get the ambience of that gentleman on the Ducati. Well, that was a bit of action. That's much action. You wait the much action coming underway tomorrow. And of course, the guys are so much fighting. And of course, who is in the struggle for the fight of the championship? That's none other than Valentino Rossi, who is going to be on to a high-spirited battle after seeing these young guys give him a run for his money. And Marquez is one of the guys, unfortunately, in the last night practice, he ended it at 13th after getting that very much problem. You saw him getting off the bike, and he tried his best. Most of them actually looking at 100% perfection, as in by Sunday tomorrow. And we shall subsequently let you get to know what's happening into Catalonia MotoGP run in Spain. Off the block of MotoGP, we go straight to Formula One. Of course, it was another sprint. I beg your pardon. It was another sprint weekend when Mercedes-Benz championship leader Lewis Hamilton coming up onto the block, and of course he never led alone. He never left it leading by leading the last round of the MotoGP qualifying round, and then he kept his head hard, and then he went ahead to win that championship. Of course, now he is beating the teammate by a margin of 15 points adrift. The next second pressed person, that is teammate Nico Rosberg. Let's get a bit of ambience from that beat, and then we shall subsequently get you to see what's the latest in the world of Formula One, and then we go straight off to the match-packed weekend in Italy. In the rally, the MotoGP, actually, sorry, I beg your pardon, that was the action down into the Formula One. Of course, the man is trying to get to the lead. It was a must win. I've seen the Briton too much commenting about the win later in this week, saying it was a must win for Lewis Hamilton. Of course, we've seen it after a throwaway of back-to-back free wins to teammate Nico Rosberg. He, of course, fought himself up, and of course, made his way onto the top of the podium. And remember, I told you Lewis Hamilton is now beating his second-pressed teammate Nico Rosberg by a margin of 15 points off the championship leading. And of course, Ferrari is also closely chasing in Sebastian Vettel. He's trying to keep a chase down with those high match chasing guys. The Mercedes are becoming a hard problem to beat. And of course, I believe, like any other technical persons here have said, the match preparation, it has always come to the advantage to every team or crew that has always had an advantage. The better preparer, the better person to get an advantage in the races. And of course, Mercedes are now having their heads up, unless it's them to lose. They still have a battle to put up against the Felipe Massas of the Ferrari. You saw how the man spin in a turn and definitely made a chase down over, which wouldn't activate him into the top three. Unlikely his other Sebastian Vettel, who kept the chase down. Over that, of course, Team Red Bull and then Renault are also looking at an exchange. Actually, they are looking at the 3 weeks ahead of them of the next race. And of course, our next dual race is on the weekend. That is the next weekend. That's the Sunday. We are actually going to have another race coming on block. And of course, the teams Red Bull and Renault are saying they have 3 weeks to study their long-term change of the data power units into their team. And I hope this has been a contagious discussion, as it was earlier, regarding the refueling, reinstallation of the refueling system into play. But I hope these guys don't miscalculate, as it happened to Mercedes when they had a miscalculation of their team leader, that is Lewis Hamilton. Of course, he lost the podium after a miscalculation. But I'm not saying they're making a miscalculation, but I believe the real qualitatively, technically, the technical team will go under and do the best out of that. Of course, of course, the next block, remember, I told you the next Sunday is another action for these guys to go back in the cockpit and prove their multi, that their machines are more to stand, and their ability to stand all the weather, to keep their heads up and keep the lead. Kudos, I could say, the guys of Mercedes. I have somebody who is donned in many colors, but I thought he was going to show his bit of side of support, but I know he would tell us, and this is a chance to ask him. He will have to tell us what team he supports. Of course, I considered before you, the audience, that of course I would not like to go off in support of the black boy, that's Lewis Hamilton, the Bruton. But at times I feel irritative when the Bruton overblow him, even at a least point of performance. But of course, they always keep the Bruton are much smarter, known for that, to make their people, regardless of how much contribution they are put up, to keep their heads up. Well over. And of course, we are actually having Nigel Mansell is actually bidding to have a magic return. And he says the former champion Nigel Mansell is actually looking at coming back. And he's looking up the 61 guy is actually looking up for having a front back. And I believe probably he may try his luck. But it's a long overdue at 61. Thinking of making miracles at the team performance will be another far-fetching situation. But I hope they will live to their way out, and I believe that they will have to stand by the drifts of all moments of the testing moments. Of course, I had the Nico complain of the way his team managers did at Mercedes, but we believe it was a one-way, just like he won last race, the Bahrain, and then of course when it came to Lewis Hamilton, he said something was a miscalculation and, of course, a misguidance. But we hope the best man stand winning in the next race that is coming next Sunday. After that, we go WRC, the super action. Guys have already had a testament of way down in Italy. And of course, the man, the surprise of the day by yesterday in first to 5 stages was Hayden Pardon, who took the lead. And of course, the performance of his car was at a mid point of performance, and we believe he recovered actually, unfortunately. And one of the other guys who was anxiously waiting to have another back win, that's Jari Rativara, the Finn guy. He had a problem, and by the end of yesterday, the cars came leaping on flat tires. That shows how much of the action was happening. And of course, the earlier casualty on the day were a little bit one of the guys. Let's get the ambience of those guys and see how these guys, one of them overdrifted and went off track and rolled and had his rally in over there. Let's get a bit of ambience of the rally of Italy and we get over. Well, that's what a bit of action that happens. Actually, it's under course, still running in Argentina. And of course, we shall keep you up posted. And of course, Jari Rativara, who had taken up the lead from actually Hayden Pardon, also had some mechanical glimpses coming in the last the ninth rope. And of course, actually laid down over the lead to teammate Sebastian Ogier. We hope to keep you posted, and of course, we are going to keep you over subsequently posted. Just give it at at WBS TV. It's Motorsport. It's proudly brought to you by none other than your TV station. That is WBS TV. And definitely, we are going to always keep you updated. And it's informative and educative. We always aim to inform you. It all starts here at WBS TV. Don't go away. And remember, this program is always a replay of this program is always at Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. to noon. 1/2 noon. Definitely, don't go away. I get on to our second break. After our break, we are going actually to get on to our La Cuisine and we discuss a number of things. I told you, I have the technical people who decide which car to go on the road and who actually make people cry at the last moment. Don't go away. Keep it at WBS TV. Motorsport. It's at WBS TV.